Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens. This is Newswatch.
New construction projects could slow down your commute to work. Hi there, I'm Justin Holbrook.
And I'm Mackenzie Pyatt. Thanks for joining us. A contract of more than $1.7 million has been awarded by the city of Athens. Athens has given the money to Freedom Construction Enterprises for the McKinley Avenue Extension and Stimson Avenue Roundabout project. According to a news release from the city, the company is expected to begin construction the first week of May. $500,000 is coming from the Appalachian Regional Commission, while up to $750,000 is coming from Ohio University.
Project developers are turning the Nelsonville School Commons into a historical renovation project. The WOUB Group Incorporated is preserving features from the former Nelsonville School as it turns into affordable housing units. Things such as windows, chalkboard, and decorative molding from the old structure are placed throughout the apartments. The project cost $9.6 million, and the building will have 33 apartments.
The 15th edition of Numbers Fest kicked off about a half hour ago. The music festival is taking place again this year at the venue of Athens. The venue is located in a large field off Ohio Route 56, and the event is promoted by Prime Social Group, which was founded by a former OU student. Athens County Sheriff Rodney Smith spoke with us on how officers will handle the event once it ends tomorrow night.
The vehicles will turn left, the foot traffic will turn right, and then we're going to deploy the officers along Route 56, if they start walking toward Athens. So we're going to have an officer approximately every 25 yards just to make sure that the patrons get home as safe as they can.
Smith also said that his department will be working with the Athens Police Department, Ohio State Patrol, and the Ohio University Police Department.
It was another nice warm day out there today, but that's not going to be the case for this weekend. Good evening and welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Allison Gens. Right now in Athens, it's 67 degrees. We have partly cloudy skies out there. Those clouds are going to increase as we head into our evening because it looks like some rain might be on the way. Our winds are northwest at 8 miles per hour. Now looking around the region, temperatures are in the low to upper 60s, 62 in Newark, 69 in New Martinsville, 67 in Athens, 68 in Jackson, and 70 in Ironton. And like I said, rain is on the way. Not too much to worry about quite tonight, but it is going to head in our early morning hours. We'll see 62 around 9 p.m. Then by midnight, those clouds rolling in, 55 degrees, then temperatures dropping to 51. It's going to be a chillier night out there with a 40% chance of those rain showers. So those showers are not going to just end overnight tonight. We're going to see them continue into tomorrow, and I'll let you know what to expect in my extended forecast a little later in the newscast.
A state lawmaker says she would not have promoted her proposed Ohio ban of sanctuary cities on a radio show if she had known its host advocates white culture and power. State Representative Candace Keller was not aware of Brian Sonny Thomas's views when she was a guest on his show in February. Keller says she only recently learned of his views on social media. Sonny Thomas frequently promotes the advancements of whites on Twitter.
State officials say Ohio's unemployment rate held steady from February to March at 5.1%. The U.S. unemployment rate, for last month was 4.5%. That's a bit lower than the rate from February. The sectors that saw job gains in the state included construction, information, and education and health services.
Nearly 170 people will be out of work soon. Sudden Link Communications, a telecommunications call center in Parkersburg, is closing this summer. The company says investments in technology, tools, and other resources have resulted in a 20% drop in customer call volume over the past year. Other operations will remain in Parkersburg, including a customer walk-in center and technical support.
Nearly $2 million is going to farm educational projects in 7 counties. Money will also help projects aiming to streamline healthcare services and provide services to high-risk patients in coalfield communities. The funding comes from agencies including the U.S. Economic Development Authority, the Appalachian Regional Commission, and the Claude Worthington Benedum Foundation. More money is coming to fix up West Virginia. The city of Huntington won first place in America's Best Communities competition. It beat out 350 other communities that entered the contest. The city received a $3 million check as a grand prize. The money will be used to revitalize the city.
President Trump's first 100 days are closing in, while he's backing away from campaign rhetoric and his timeline for goals. That story plus protests in Venezuela have left 11 dead, why citizens are protesting the government. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
This spring on PBS, get a fresh variety of fantastic stories, including the return of your favorite midwives.
You're back, Barbara.
An epic telling of World War I.
The modern version of the United States is born out of this war.
An amazing escape.
We're picking up 2 hotspots.
There is something there.
And the struggles of wartime women.
We are all fighting in our own way.
All this and more, all this spring, only on PBS.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family. The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
The Trump administration has denied ExxonMobil permission to drill for oil in Russia. The company applied for a waiver back in 2015 to bypass sanctions from the Obama era that banned collaborations with certain Russian companies. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin says all U.S. companies are bound by the restrictions and that he, in consultation with President Trump, would not make an exception. Exxon said it only applied for the waiver to fulfill contractual obligations under a joint venture in Russia. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson was a former Exxon CEO.
Trump is now busy for preparing for a big week in Washington. Next week, Congress will work to strike a deal to fund the government and potentially take up health care once again. But as a critical milestone approaches, critics are going after the commander-in-chief for failing to fulfill a number of campaign promises. Kristen Holmes has more in Washington.
What follows is my 100-day action plan to make America great again.
Just before the November election, then-candidate Donald Trump presented this contract to the American voter, offering a series of measures that would be pursued within the first 100 days.
Middle-class tax relief and simplification act. The American Infrastructure Act, School Choice and Education Opportunity Act.
But now, with just 8 days to go, the president is tamping down that 100-day promise. In a Friday morning tweet, the president saying, no matter how much I accomplish during the ridiculous standard of the first 100 days, and it has been a lot, including the Supreme Court, media will kill. Supporters of the president point to the nomination of Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court, higher numbers on Wall Street, and a series of executive orders as evidence the president is getting things done.
No administration has accomplished more in the first 90 days.
But some of those signature promises have fallen short, including the effort to repeal and replace Obamacare. With Congress set to return to Washington next week, sources say the White House wants another run at health care. But it's up to House Republicans to strike a deal.
Both the right and the left should like this. It's about good policy.
This despite the threat of a government shutdown if Congress can't reach an agreement on a spending bill by the end of next week. The president is optimistic that won't happen.
I think we're in good shape.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
The 100 days mark is linked to President Franklin Roosevelt. President Trump himself talked about his first 100 days when he was campaigning.
And as Mr. Trump nears the end of his first 100 days, former President Barack Obama is set to make his first post-White House appearance on Monday. President Obama's office says he will be joined by young leaders on April 24th at the University of Chicago. They plan to discuss local community affairs. The meeting is part of the former president's nonprofit Obama Foundation. To help develop the next generation of citizens, Obama is also set to accept an award in Boston next month. In late May, he will meet with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. On Wall Street today, U.S. stocks dip as investors eagerly await the closely contested French presidential election. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Why some school officials are saying that's not a bad thing. That story's still ahead.
And some rainy days are ahead for this weekend, along with dropping temperatures. I'll let you know how long those will stick around in my extended forecast next on Newswatch.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
This spring on PBS, get a fresh variety of fantastic stories, including the return of your favorite midwives.
You're back. Oh, bro.
An epic telling of World War I.
The modern version of the United States is born out of this war.
An amazing escape.
We're picking up 2 hot spots.
There is something there.
And the struggles of wartime women.
We are all fighting in our own way.
All this and more, all this spring, only on PBS.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
Good evening and welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Allison Gens. Right now in Athens, it's 67 degrees with partly cloudy skies and our wind northwest at 8 miles per hour around the region. Temperatures are in the low to mid 60s, 62 in Newark, 69 in New Martinsville, 68 in Ripley, and 70 in Ironton. Our almanac today shows we were a lot above our average temperature. 73 was our high temperature today. We're normally around 67 degrees for this time of year. Our record was 86 back in 1954. We definitely weren't that warm, and it doesn't look like we're going to hit that warm either over our weekend. Precipcast, though, is showing that we do have a low pressure system going to begin working its way in overnight tonight, and that's going to continue to push its way through tomorrow. You can see that we're going to get that heavier chance of rain showers throughout the day tomorrow as that low pressure system begins to work its way out. But then as we head into tomorrow night, that rain continues to persist, those showers picking up. So it looks like if you're heading out, if you have plans tomorrow, especially if you're heading out to Numberfest, you do have those rain showers to worry about. It's going to be a little bit of muddy out there at the venue. So now overnight tonight, temperatures dropping to the mid 40s. That's a little bit chillier than we've been feeling the past couple nights. 45 in New Lexington, 47 in Marietta, 49 in Ripley, and 50 in Ironton, with a chance of rain across the region. But like I said, that chance of rain isn't really too much to worry about until we head into tomorrow and our early morning hours. So we have 59 in Cambridge, 55 in New Lexington, 52 in Chillicothe, and 55 in Jackson. It's going to be a chillier day. We've had some nicer, warmer temperatures this week, but temperatures are beginning to drop as we head into our weekend with that rain throughout the day. Now tonight, temperatures, like I said, cooling off, 47 degrees with rain possible after 2 p.m. But otherwise, it's going to be a mostly cloudy night with winds northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. And breaking that down for you just a little bit, 62 degrees as we head into tonight, but then dropping into the 50s as we head past midnight with 51 by 3 a.m. and that chance of rain showers begins to roll in. Tomorrow, 57 degrees as our high temperature, much cooler, like I said, and rain throughout the day. So bring your umbrella, bring those rain boots, because you're going to need it as you head outdoors throughout the day. Winds northeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then just seeing how this is going to work out. Well, those graphics, it looks like those graphics aren't quite right, so I'm going to just move right on past that for you there. We have, so tomorrow, 57 degrees, then by Sunday, warming up a little bit, 63, but that chance of rain sticks around. But then as we head into next week, you can see temperatures begin to warm back up again, 70 on Monday, and then lots of sunshine for Tuesday with 75. And then we're going to see temperatures jump into the 80s as we head into midweek. So things are going to feel a little bit more summer-like as we head close to our May with 80, 81 on Thursday, slight chance of rain, but then clearing up by Friday with 85 degrees. So we're going to have to worry about some rain this weekend, but a nice week in store next week. I'm sending it back over to Mackenzie.
Thanks, Allison. Reports of sexual assaults on Ohio University's campus are at an all-time high, but does that mean there are really more assaults, or are more victims comfortable coming forward? Newswatch at Noon reporter Allison Gens tells us improvements in reporting and prevention may be causing the spike.
An Ohio University student we'll call Melanie to protect her identity says she just wanted to meet new people, which is why she invited a male student she met on a dating app to study in her dorm. She said the night started out fine.
We were studying, doing homework together, and then he just wouldn't take no for an answer.
After it happened, she went to the hospital and completed an exam for an anonymous rape kit, which keeps her name and kit private unless she gives permission for it to be released to police for investigation. That began Melanie's process of finding what resources were available to help her recover and decide whether or not to file a police report. Melanie's story is not unique. Sexual assault reports have been increasing across the country. Among Mid-American Conference or MAC schools, Ohio University ranks second in number of sexual assault reports with 30 in 2015. Ball State ranks first with 34 reports, and the University of Toledo falls last with only 3. While the high number of reports may seem like a big negative, university officials think otherwise. In a statement, Ball State Vice President of Communication Joan Todd said, "We believe the uptick in reports for sexual assault are a direct result of our efforts to increase awareness and create a safe and supportive environment for reporting. We have many safety and awareness programs from orientation on." And this seems to be the case for most MAC schools. A higher number of reports corresponds with a higher number of resources for reporting, education, outreach, and prevention. Ball State has approximately 28 resources, OU 24, and Toledo only 12. OU Dean of Students Jenny Hall-Jones agrees that the increased number of reports is because students feel more comfortable reporting.
More people have heard about good experiences with survivor advocacy or good experiences reporting it through the university, and so then they're more willing to report.
Hall-Jones says sexual assault prevention and education begins at freshman orientation and continues throughout students' 4 years on campus. Programming is offered to residence halls, student organizations, athletes, and the Greek community.
You should not be able to graduate from Ohio University without getting some kind of sexual assault prevention education, bystander intervention.
Beyond prevention education, there are confidential resources for students who are victims of sexual assault, like campus care, campus psychological services, and the survivor advocacy program. Mackenzie Roman, social worker and graduate assistant for the program, said it is designed to help clients by listening to what kind of support they want.
We're just very client focused. We just want to make sure that people feel safe and that we're supporting them.
For Melanie, the program helped her make important decisions after her assault.
The survivor advocacy program was there for me the whole entire time.
One reporting resource on campus is the OU Police Department. Since reporting can be scary for students, Lieutenant Tim Ryan says OUPD offers more than just reporting. They have programs like self-defense classes and coffee with a cop once a month.
We know that sexual assault is one of the most underreported crimes. So we try to increase our approachability and our accessibility by giving those opportunities for people to come and meet with us and talk to us and just get to know us better.
The other reporting resource is through OU's community standards, which is what Melanie decided to do for now. But even though she's not ready to file a police report at this time, she says she's impressed with what OU is doing to address the problem of sexual assault on campus.
I think that they really are trying more than the large majority of public universities and colleges.
She says what she would like to see the university do next is offer more long-term therapy options for victims. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Allison Gens.
Thanks, Allison. Jenny Hall-Jones says there is still more the university can do. Next year, OU plans to begin training faculty and staff on how to help student victims who reach out to them.
Ohio softball got their weekend series against Bowling Green started today with a doubleheader. I'll let you know who came out on top in those two games. And Ohio baseball and Miami are in the middle of their game right now. I'll have the latest updates from the Battle of the Bricks coming up next on Newswatch. So here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
This spring on PBS, get a fresh variety of fantastic stories, including the return of your favorite midwives.
You're back. Abra.
An epic telling of World War I.
The modern version of the United States is born out of this war.
An amazing escape.
We're picking up 2 hot spots.
There is something there.
And the struggles of wartime women.
We are all fighting in our own way.
All this and more, all this spring, only on PBS.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Sean Neidig. Starting on the diamond, Ohio University softball had their Saturday doubleheader moved to today because of the weather, but the change in schedule didn't affect Ohio's bats. In the first game against Bowling Green, the Bobcats won 7-1 behind another dominant performance by Savannah Jo Dorsey. The senior pitched a complete game, allowing only 1 run and striking out 14. In Game 2, both Madison Claytor and Morgan Gino homered to power the Bobcats towards a win. Not as many runs as the first game, but 4 runs definitely got the job done. Pitcher Danielle Stein went the distance and allowed only 1 run. She struck out 10. The series is scheduled to wrap up tomorrow morning at 10. Ohio baseball is in action as well. First pitch of their series against Miami was thrown at about 6 o'clock. Game's currently tied at 2 through 3 innings. Ohio walked off on Wednesday in their win over Marshall. Sophomore first baseman Rudy Rote took advantage of some late baking hours and deposited one into the seats in the 10th inning of that game to give Ohio the 11-10 win. Miami, while only 15-23 this season, have won 7 straight games and are hotter than any other team in the Mid-American Conference. The 2 teams are scheduled to play 2 more games this weekend, tomorrow at 3 and then the series finale on Sunday at 1. This weekend is also Bark at the Park for Ohio baseball and softball, so bring your dogs to the game as well. The most successful season in team history is over for the Columbus Blue Jackets after their loss last night to the Pittsburgh Penguins. The 5-2 defeat knocked the Jackets out of the NHL playoffs in 5 games, but let's look at some of the positives this season. The team set franchise records in wins and points with 50 and 108 respectively, and who could forget that 16-game winning streak in December and January. The CBJ built a great foundation for the future this season, and the second youngest team in the entire league can only go up from here. For the Cavaliers, though, the future is now. After a shaky start to Game 3 of their first-round matchup with the Indiana Pacers last night, the Wine and Gold flipped the switch and overcame a 25-point halftime deficit to win 119-114. Stop me if you've heard this before, but LeBron James, he can't be stopped. The King finished with 41 points, 13 boards, and 12 assists. What makes those numbers and that comeback even more impressive is the fact that both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love didn't get off the bench in the entire fourth quarter. The Cavs will go for the sweep on Sunday at 1. And taking a look at the MLB lineup tonight, the Pirates and Yankees start a series in just a few minutes in Pittsburgh with Tyler Glasnow and CC Sabathia on the mound. The defending champion Cubs are in Cincinnati to open a series with the Reds, and the rebuilding Chicago White Sox are hosting Cleveland tonight at 8. The Tribe are winners of 3 straight and activated second baseman Jason Kipnis off the DL today to make his first start of the season. All right, that's it. My time here at WOUB is done. I want to thank everyone out there that's watched and supported over the past 4 years, especially my parents. It's been a pleasure to work here and continue to support WOUB in the future. I'm out. Back over to you, Justin.
All right, thanks, Sean. Time for your Fiona Fix. The newest little celebrity at the Cincinnati Zoo got squeaky clean when she discovered a shower stall after her daily morning weigh-in. The baby hippo splashed around until she got tired and ended up falling asleep in the stall, according to the zoo. Fiona is the first Nile hippo born in the zoo in 75 years. She's become a viral star through a series of adorable videos just like this one. Now let's go over to Allison for her final weather.
Thanks, Justin. Overnight tonight, 47 degrees is our low with rain possible starting after 2 a.m. Then tomorrow, not warming up very much, 57 degrees with rain throughout the day. So make sure you take your umbrella as you head out throughout the day. Then that rain is going to continue into Sunday but temperatures warming up 63. And then by Monday, temperatures back into the 70s again, then 75 by Tuesday, and then into the 80s as we head into midweek.
Thanks, Allison. I'm Mackenzie Pyatt, and that does it for our final broadcast of the season. All of us on the show tonight are seniors, and we want to thank you for tuning in to our final newscast before we graduate.
And I'm Justin Holbrook. I also want to thank our producers, Ann Jacob, Caitlin Roman, Zahara Pruitt, and our director, John Noble. And also thank you for always letting us into your homes and businesses. Now, Newswatch will return in the fall and next September. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.